Today I'll be sharing some of my experience as a protege during my previous, mentee mentorship relation. But before that, let me tell you and start with this. A true mentor is someone who is fair, radiant, tall, and maybe smart. Does it not sound more like attributes of a marriage material rather than of a true mentor? No, let me relate it with another terminology. True mentor is someone, who is radiant because of his previous experience, fair in terms of behavior with his colleague, radiant, I covered that one, and caring for growth and progress of its mentor. And a protege, someone who is getting mentored, is maybe, who is chilling and passing his time with his mentor and eventually maybe learning something. Not really. A true mentee or protege is someone who is willing to learn something, open to receive feedback, having willingness to learn challenging things, ready for suggestions, new ideas. And that's how exactly Toastmaster envisions mentorship, right? And most of our guests are there for this very reason today. Coming back to the experience I had as a protege when I was as an intern in a government agency called BARC, it's Bhabha Atomic Research Center. I got assigned to a mentor, or let me put it this way, like we cannot choose our parents and siblings, sometimes we cannot choose our mentor as well. So I was assigned to someone with a very fancy designation, Chief Scientific Officer. He was assigned to me as a mentor, and on the second day post my onboarding, I met him, and I hope it's not a deja vu for any of you. So we met on the second day. He said, "Hello, Rishabh, I'm your mentor. See you tomorrow at this building." I said there. I said, okay. Second day to that, I reported. I was really excited because that was the first cubicle I ever had. A very well-structured networking rack with a 48-port switch, which I never saw in college, and then a KVM console and a comfortable space for me. Well, good. Then I reached out to him, "Sir, what do we do? What is my objective for, the whole 2 months on internship, and what are my project objectives?" He said, "Yeah, we'll be doing this and this in the coming weeks, and for now, as you're new to this, for 2 weeks, learn everything on your own, prepare something you don't know, and come back to me after questions." I said, okay. I didn't expect that my mentor will be like this for the very first week. But that's okay, I started with it because the title was something which I have never worked on. Of course, it was related to technology, but something which I didn't touch or work upon earlier. So I kept exploring the things on my own, prepared questions, and started exploring each topic so that I can relate, at least I get familiar with the terminology. So I got back to him after 2 weeks and saying that, "Hello sir, I'm back and I did research, now I'm familiar with it, where do we go next?" And out of 500 questions I prepared, very smartly he answered just 5. He said, like you find 500 questions, same way just Google, you can find answers for them as well. And he said okay, we're gonna configure this, so yeah, I can help you, but just Google out, configure this step by step, and you'll get the answers. I said, okay, let me try that again. So this how the whole 4 weeks and then 5th, 6th week passed on, and I was happy that at least end of the day I was able to achieve successfully what my objective was. So I configured the thing, and I very excitedly told him, "Sir, it worked for me." He said, "Wow, badhai ho." I was like, nobody ever congratulated to me like that. It was kind of a second for me that I got engaged and somebody says, "Badhai ho beta." Then, okay, this was his congratulations style, but later on when the moments reached, when we had to prepare the reports and submit it, I asked, "Is there any template which you follow for submission of your reports?" He said, "No, check with your other colleagues, they also have something," right? Ask them to share the template from their mentor. He used the same, "That's okay for me." I was like, okay. And somehow he was really creative the way he has formulated his email ID. he had his sense that it could be a time when he wants people to forcibly greet him even when they did not. So it was hianurag@domain.com. So that had two things. One, even though we don't feel like wishing him, it says hi Anurag in the first sentence of the email itself. Second, you can copy paste the first little thing to start with the body of your email. So that's where he was. In my overall experience as a protege, I would like to give the conclusion this way. You can have a mentor who you can learn from him, as that's something that how to get the work done with very minimal input from your end. And second, you could guess the time when he takes up his phone and at 4 p.m. says, hi mummy. I was like, there's nothing wrong in being mama's boy at the age of 45 when he himself is a father. But there's nothing wrong in that. I learned that thing from him. Second, getting work done with very minimal inputs. And third one is exploring the bigger way just by the internet rather than someone having within the room with you who can guide you well. No, learn on your own. But the problem with internet is you might not learn the right thing. You can get a lot of content, but someone who tells you exactly what it is meant for rather than just reading and making sense on your own. So those were the learning. But eventually a true mentor is someone who has a definite sense of self and can seek out something which a person who is getting mentored by him has not discovered on his own. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Rishabh.
Thank you.
That got me into a deja vu of my mentor. Very hard to have a very good mentor in first instance when we start to work. We are done with the first part of this session, that is the main speeches. The next part is the table topics. We have table topics master Prateek coming on stage. And after that, the third part is the evaluation. The three evaluators, they'll be coming here. You will be able to listen to them on the comments of how the speakers fared in their speeches. We'll have Prateek as he comes in. Today is also a day when Dayananda Saraswati was born on February